Marcus Reed had not planned for any of this. He had not planned to be a single father at 32, had not planned to be raising his 7-year-old daughter. Lily, alone after his wife Sarah passed away from cancer 2 years ago, and he had certainly not planned to be working as a junior interpreter at the prestigious Hartwell Business Group in downtown Chicago on the most important day of the company's financial history. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments where in the world are you watching from. But life, as Marcus had learned the hard way, rarely asked for your plans before rearranging everything. He had taken the interpreter job 6 months ago out of desperation, needing steady income and flexible hours to be present for Lily, who was still healing from the loss of her mother in ways that broke his heart daily. His Arabic was solid, learned during years of academic study and 2 years living in Jordan, but he was by no means the company's best interpreter. That role belonged to David Chen, a seasoned professional who had been handling Sheikh Khalid al-Mansouri's account for 3 years. The Sheikh was a billionaire investor from Abu Dhabi, whose potential partnership with Hartwell could inject over $400 million into the company and save nearly 2,000 jobs. Everything depended on today's meeting going perfectly. Then David called in sick that morning, and Marcus got the call at 7 a.m. while packing Lily's school lunch. The problem was immediate and brutal. Lily's school was closed for a water pipe emergency, and Marcus had no babysitter available on such short notice. His neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, was visiting her sister in Florida, and every contact in his phone either didn't answer or couldn't help. He called his supervisor, James, in a panic and explained the situation, ready to resign himself to the fact that someone else would have to step in. James, however, was equally panicked because there was no one else. The other interpreters were either traveling or unqualified for this level of formal Gulf Arabic dialect that the Sheikh preferred. James made a decision that he would later describe as either the best or worst of his career. He told Marcus to bring Lily along, keep her quiet in the corner of the conference room with her tablet and headphones, and under no circumstances let her draw attention. Marcus arrived at Hartwell's 42nd floor offices with Lily dressed neatly in her blue school dress, her dark curly hair in 2 careful braids, her small backpack containing her tablet, coloring books, and the worn stuffed rabbit named Mr. Hops that she carried everywhere since her mother died. The conference room was all glass and steel and tension. Sheikh Khalid al-Mansouri arrived precisely at 10 o'clock with 4 members of his team, dressed in an immaculate white kandura, his expression unreadable and severe. The Hartwell executives, James, the CEO, Patricia Walsh, and 3 senior partners stood to receive him with practiced smiles. Marcus positioned himself beside Patricia, and Lily sat quietly in a chair near the window, headphones on, coloring book open, seemingly invisible. The meeting began well enough. Marcus translated the opening pleasantries smoothly, and the Sheikh's expression remained neutral but engaged. Patricia presented the partnership proposal in careful, confident English, and Marcus rendered it into formal Arabic, choosing his words with the precision of someone walking across ice. For 40 minutes things moved forward. Then came the moment everything collapsed. One of Hartwell's senior partners, a man named Greg Holloway, who had a reputation for arrogance and impatience, interrupted the careful flow of negotiations to push a clause about profit distribution that had not been agreed upon in the preliminary discussions. Marcus translated it faithfully, and he watched the Sheikh's eyes go cold. Sheikh Khalid said something in rapid, clipped Arabic that Marcus translated, carefully as a request for clarification on whether this clause had been part of the original agreement. Greg answered dismissively in English, waving his hand as though the Sheikh's concern was a minor inconvenience. Something in that gesture, that casual dismissal of a man who had built an empire from nothing, through decades of disciplined work, crossed a line that translation could not fix. The Sheikh spoke 3 sentences in Arabic. Marcus felt his stomach drop as he translated them honestly. I did not travel from Abu Dhabi to be treated as someone unfamiliar with the meaning of respect. This meeting is no longer productive. We are done. Sheikh Khalid pushed back his chair. His team rose with him. Patricia's face went white. James looked like he might be sick. Greg Holloway finally seemed to understand the magnitude of what his arrogance had just cost everyone. Marcus opened his mouth but had nothing to say, because no words in any language could undo a broken atmosphere. Then a small voice spoke from near the window, clear, unhurried, in Arabic, so naturally accented that every person in the room froze.
Excuse me?
Are you really leaving without finishing your tea? Everyone turned. Lily had removed her headphones and was looking directly at Sheikh Khalid with the completely fearless honesty of a child who does not yet understand that billionaires are supposed to be intimidating. She repeated herself in the same casual Gulf-influenced Arabic she had somehow absorbed from the children's Arabic educational videos Marcus played at home. From the Arabic lullabies he had learned to sing her after her mother died, because Sarah had once said she wanted Lily to know that the world was bigger than their neighborhood. The Sheikh stared at this 7-year-old girl, with her coloring book and her stuffed rabbit and her 2 neat braids. Something shifted in his face, something that all the polished negotiation in the world had failed to move. He asked her in Arabic what she was drawing. Lily held up her coloring book, showing a picture of a house with a family in front of it. She said simply, "I'm drawing a house because my daddy works very hard so we can keep ours." The Sheikh was quiet for a long moment. Then he asked Marcus in Arabic, "This is your daughter?" Marcus said yes and began to apologize for her presence, but the Sheikh raised one hand to stop him. He turned to look at Greg Holloway and then at Patricia, and he said in English for the first time since entering the room, in a voice that was measured and quiet, "I have built everything I have for my children. I understand this man." He sat back down. His team sat. He looked at Patricia and said simply, "Remove Mr. Holloway from this discussion. Then we may continue." Greg was escorted out of the conference room with the kind of silence that is louder than any argument. The meeting resumed and ran for another 2 hours. The $400 million partnership agreement was signed before noon. Later, as the Sheikh's team was preparing to leave, Sheikh Khalid crouched down to Lily's level, which was itself remarkable to every person watching, and spoke to her gently in Arabic. He told her that her father was a good man and that she should be proud of him. Lily considered this very seriously and then said, "I know. He makes really good pancakes too." The Sheikh laughed, the first and only time he had laughed the entire day, and it was the most genuine sound in that room, full of expensive things. Marcus Reed drove home that evening with Lily asleep in the back seat, still holding Mr. Hops, and he thought about Sarah and how she used to say that the most powerful thing in the world was raising a kind and fearless child. He thought she had been absolutely right. Sometimes a 7-year-old with a coloring book and a pure heart walks into a room full of broken negotiations and fixes. Everything not with strategy or skill, but simply with truth. And that truth turns out to be the only language that was ever needed. If this story moved your heart the way it moved ours, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories, a channel dedicated to the real and beautiful moments that remind us what humanity is truly capable of. Every share helps these stories reach someone who needs them today.